Nova, I'll start with yours. Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Before we go on to the topic, sir, let me go ahead and throw this up there. Adidas 20 says Gams.
Hey.
The
Came
white
through.
Viking to you, bro.
Hey, man. Appreciate the 3 months, man. That's huge, man. It's for the kids,
Thank
as
you.
usual. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this up here, man. Shout out to Paris. Paris stopped by, said, I told you Final Fantasy VII Remake should be on Xbox, and they called me a madman, he said. Now look.
Now,
Shout
though.
out.
You
Yeah.
know?
Why now?
So, yeah.
Well, you're still a
So-
madman because they kind of did say that 7 is probably staying until the 3rd, right? Isn't that like they did say that, right? In the reports that the remakes were gonna just be PlayStation.
Well, I know
regardless?
that Integrate is already on Steam. So,
Right,
yeah. So,
like
probably
console. I
not.
mean. Okay.
But-
Okay. Maybe I
yeah.
misread that stuff.
Yeah, because it's already on Steam right now. I know, at least
Mhm.
Integrate is. But as of Ash Paris from The Verge reported yesterday that the publisher shared plans to increase profits, stating that it will aggressively pursue a multi-platform strategy that includes Nintendo platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. The newer releases like forthcoming Vision of Mana are seeing simultaneous releases on Xbox. So they're probably looking like, hey, like if we release this in more places, man, we're getting more bread, you know? So why are we doing this again? So the company hopes that it hopes to bring in hopes that it's bringing its major franchises, including its back catalog, to more platforms, build an environment where more customers can enjoy our titles. Square Enix itself has not shared sales numbers for the game, despite doing so for Final Fantasy 16, 15, and Rebirth's direct predecessor, the remake. We're talking
Yikes.
about like the most recent Final Fantasy 7, because we have heard that it hasn't been doing so hot. So
Mhm.
it could be contributing to their more want and more need to try to get this to many more people. So Gamsley, I'm going to toss it to you first, man. What do you think
Yeah.
about this new news, and are you surprised about this switch?
Yeah, so not surprised at all, because I'm pretty sure I'm on many records saying like, yeah, this is the step, right? I mean, this RPG franchise used to be the biggest franchise in JRPG history. It used to be the biggest, and it got surpassed by what we all in the West and other places, a niche title like Monster Hunter succeeded it. So Monster Hunter Worlds right now is the biggest JRPG, right? Or considered the biggest JRPG right now by sheer sales numbers, not by the franchise total numbers, but by a single game standard. So it baffles me when people say, well, oh my God, Final Fantasy, it's not as popular as it once was. Maybe it's an old man game. I'm looking at you, freaking Black Viking, right? An old man game. No, I really think it was just mistreated. I think it was undervalued, and they really went the wrong way here. This franchise is not niche. It is not small. The name is gigantic. And like I said, your big IPs, big IP should be as like in multiple places. Anywhere you can put it, you should put it as a third party. You should do that. And Capcom learned that, and Capcom made a niche title in the West, a gigantic title with Monster Hunter Worlds. It takes one, The Souls franchise was niche, right? Or small. Let's say small. And it got gigantic with Elden Ring. It takes one title to blow up. And I think that they shot themselves in the foot with 16, because I think 16 would have done really well in the West, and really well on the Xbox, and really well on the PC. With all the hype that game was getting, there was no 7 Rebirth around. It was just like fertile soil for a new Final Fantasy game that looked incredible, that had a great narrative forefront, that was way more fantasy. We love that stuff. Like, Game of Thrones, House of Dragons, like all this political stuff. Like it was the hype, dude. It was the time to drop this everywhere. I believe that, and it's ignorant to ignore Nintendo, and they can't anymore because Nintendo's, the Switch 2 is probably going to be able to put these titles on there. I think they're just smartening up. I think they kicked out their last guy, like their last CEO, out for a reason. I think he made bad deals, locking down the biggest name, which is Final Fantasy VII, for like 3 games or 2 games straight. Like, it's really weird. You're doing some really weird stuff, Square. And I love you. And I'm not just an Xbox fanboy. I'm definitely an Xbox fanboy. I have an Xbox channel, but we also talk many games. We have a PlayStation show, and we have a multi-gaming show as well. We're gonna have a Nintendo show. Like, you need to be everywhere as a third party, guys, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
no, I'm not surprised at all.
Okay.
All these guys, I said it last show. I said that these guys are looking for growth. If the big 3 are looking for growth, if Sony's trying to look for growth on PC and all these, whatever, of course Square's going to look. They're smaller, guys. They're smaller. They're small people. Like, they're a small company comparatively. They want to grow, and they want to keep growing, not fall,
Yeah.
So.
Or be stagnant, man. Because I did play Final Fantasy.
Stagnant.
16. I have that game, and that game is actually pretty good, man. By the standards, like, I like the fighting system is pretty much borrows from the fighting system for Final Fantasy VII, the action-based fighting system. So it's a pretty good game, man. It definitely would have benefited to get more eyes on it. What you got, Games?
Can I shoot one more thing in here? Okay.
Go ahead, man.
So people fight me often because I keep saying, I was like, dude, I used to love Final Fantasy. The direction they're going with the combat, I'm not a big fan of, but I like that they're trying new stuff with their big franchise. I like that. That's one of the things that I like. What I don't like is Final Fantasy 15 being the last one. That's so gigantic numbers. Final Fantasy 15, guys. We're talking like it was 10 years ago that 20 years ago Final Fantasy was selling well. No. Final Fantasy 15 sold extraordinarily well. It sold like what, upward of 12 million copies? Like that game sold super well, and 15 was meh.
It's super
15
meh,
was
bro.
meh. And 16 and 7 are exceptional. And they sold almost nothing. That's not a Square fault. Well, it is a Square fault. It's not a Sony fault or whatever fault. It's Square's fault because you're supposed to go to those players. They're not going to go to PlayStation, if they're on PC or they're on Xbox. So you go to them. That's my point. And I'm going to end it there.
No, I feel you, man. I'm going to go ahead and post this in here. Flush says that Final Fantasy 15 is awesome. He said he loved
you. You don't know what you're talking about, all right? Get out of here, Flush. I love you, buddy. Yeah.
I think it was an
fun.
okay game, but the thing that really, really got me was the introduction of having to maintain that vehicle.
Dude, it ran out of gas on me, and I had to walk so far. I was like, "This is what y'all doing?" I get realism, but damn, I have to walk all this nothing. That's where I was like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, they really got. I think they fixed it. I think they had a patch later on to kind of help with some quality of life improvements with that game. Because I never finished that one, dude. Like, after a while, I was like, damn, like, I'm tired of driving this damn car. The story's pretty cool, but the car riding scene, because that's how they kind of want to like drip you the information from the game. Is
that's a
in the
big
car
part of the game. Yeah, the car is the main character. That's what's
pretty
crazy.
much.
Yeah. It's your campfire. It's like. Yeah,
which is kind of cool. Look, that is a cool concept.
It was.
It just needs to be dialed back a little bit, I guess. And I don't want to complain because I've never played a game like that, especially Final Fantasy. That's the first time they did that. So, and I know that they put so much effort into the dialogue and the charisma and the chemistry between their guys and all that. And I get it, but like, damn. And then we can't go out at nighttime. Damn, like this car shit is killing me. So.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and one last thing I just remembered as you were talking, and then I'll be quiet and let you guys talk on this one. But like the restructure, like I get it. Final Fantasy is probably the thing that is making the money for the little guys, or the little guys to live. And they tried to build too many little guys. They tried to build too much IP and too many different things. I get that, but don't you think you would pull in more money by having this thing everywhere? You know,
Oh yeah.
like,
Yeah.
come on, it's not rocket science, dude. Like, you can't stagnate your big franchise. You're supposed to prop it up, you know. But yeah, so I get the restructure. They're doing their thing. I think this is good, a good sign for Square. They're gonna turn up like Capcom. They have the IP, but when, we don't know. But this is a good start.
For sure, man. So Scale, did I get to you, or yeah?
Nope.
So how do you feel about it?
I think it's good, man. I think it just comes down to strictly the simple facts. It's like, we're not making money. Our stuff is over here. Let's move it everywhere. Make money. It kind of just adds up. It makes sense. And I haven't even played 16. I haven't played a good amount of Final Fantasy stuff because it is on like PlayStation. And look, before I go too deep, I am not shitting on PlayStation and Square Enix. That history, when I think of Final Fantasy, when I think of Cloud, the first thing I think of is the PS1 box CD with the disc and a fat CD case that opens up with PS1 and PS2. I think of Titus on Final Fantasy X. Like, those things used to go hand in hand. It used to feel so good. Now it's getting to a point to where I don't want to be on your console because of other shit, and y'all are not making the money that y'all need to make. And it's just, you need to be where I'm at. You need to come over here because y'all are getting held back. It's just, I don't like to see it held back. And my thing at the end of all this is that I don't want them staying on that platform to kill them somehow. I don't say they can. I don't think they can be necessarily killed that easily or anything. They're a final boss, but they might be like a mid final boss, like a mid boss. You know what I'm saying? They could get killed if they stay over there not selling their stuff like that. That'd kill anyone. And then it just makes you want to make games like they're gonna make a BR next, Final Fantasy BR, and then it's just getting to the point where it's just, we're in a bad spot. But I think that I think it's a good move. I think for the consumer, for the gamers, this is great news. We don't want Square Enix to die. We love the franchise. We love the characters. We just want to play it everywhere. Not only that, I just know I want to play stuff on my PC at this point. I'm sorry, it's just going to run.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
can I ask
now,
you a quick question?
Go for it.
Do you think that? Okay, so obviously Square Enix selling only to PlayStation grows PlayStation. That's how that works, right? It doesn't really grow Square that much. It grows PlayStation. Do you think that Square putting those big titles on PC and Xbox will help grow those platforms as well, and then overall just grow the gaming community?
I think so.
You think it will help out?
I think
a big player like that?
I think
Me
so.
too.
so.
Me too.
Yeah, I think it's just they're just going to grow as a brand at that point. They're not going to be associated.
Yeah.
They'll just be associated with gaming, not necessarily like a platform. So that's just room for them to grow even more. I feel you can play their stuff anywhere. If anyone gets into Final Fantasy, you know it's a rabbit hole. You start on any of those Final Fantasies, and then you're liable to go play a lot of them shits. Especially if you start from 7, you will go play 8, probably play with Squall. You will go play 9. You will go play 10 and play with Tice. You may stop at 10 too.
Yeah.
You may,
You
may do some online in 11. You know what I'm saying?
you may slow it up.
And then you get to 15 and you're like flush for some reason. You're like, oh my God, it's amazing. But yeah.